Hello everyone and welcome back to another Warner video, this time around on the new beautiful urban frontline map, the map that comes with the new patch that just dropped. And yeah, we have a beautiful looking city here. We played it for 1v1 as we wanted to test it here for 1v1. And yeah, the deck I played, as you can see on the screen right now, is a pretty disgusting one, as I wanted to test how the new air-to-air missiles, the changes there to range stacking on the long-range missiles and the buff to the 5% accuracy buff work out when you put the shit to the maximum with some air spam. Also, challengers being cheaper, I think, is a nice buff to first UK as well. And yeah, the air spam is really interesting with the tornadoes. Totic bringing around 119th, which obviously is a bit of a expensive, clumsy deck, but yeah, this map here having a lot on the flanks going on. It's really big. It's most likely too big for 1v1, but we wanted to test it around and see how it feels and maybe how much you would need to change it for 1v1 for it to work. And yeah, we tested it out like that, and the map itself, absolutely gorgeous. Like, really an absolutely beautiful map. You have the railway track here with some cars on it that also block line of sight, so you have some bit more going on there with the railway cars on the tracks being a nice line of sight blocker. You have open terrain on the side, and then you have this massive town area in the center, which has some interesting line of sights as well. The end of Dragon 1 and in general AoE on AP weapons really makes tank combat a good bit more interesting, so that's why tank versus tank division fights here is quite cool as well. And yep, let's see how this all goes. On the right side here, Tortic coming around with some Me-24Ks from the get-go. I started with air spam from the get-go and some gazelles here, plus some Harrier Paras and some Assault Pioneers and Rifles here, trying to go for the middle. I expected some Me-24Ks, so I thought airplanes plus that maybe can bomb this directly, plus kill the Me-24Ks would be nice. CV here, TADBVK on the right side. And then we have some Milan 2 coming up to the north here to protect from this one farm estate that we have here in the middle of this otherwise really open field. This is a really good house for parties, guys. Like, if you have a friend that has a house like this, abuse it. Go and party as much as possible at his place whenever his parents are gone. No neighbors that can be annoyed by loud music or anything like that. And if they have a location like that where you can party inside the barn, that's even better. Lots of childhood memories coming up there with that kind of location. Milan 2 coming around, Gazelle coming around. Gazelle rockets over here. Flying in. The other side. Yeah, the Me-24Ks here. BRDMs on the flank for some spotting. Trying to prevent any kind of sneak. We have a warrior applique with the armored rifle inside. The combo together still the same price as before, as the armored rifles went down 40 points, but the warrior applique went up 5 points. Could maybe even move up 5 points further. Gazelle rockets moving forward. Trying to deal with anything coming around here. Harrier Para trying to help out. Whilst on the other side, bit of infantry in the middle. Tornado AA coming in first. Cluster trying to find the TADBVK if possible. Maybe hunt down the helicopters as well, as it has AM9Ls. Jaguar, kind of same thing. Trying to find something to bomb. Tornado here. Not hitting with its first missile. Cluster trying to find some more spots to fight at. Tornado does find hit this time around, but only after the scouts went down. We have SU-17 coming around. Both sides dealing a lot of damage to each other. Tornado goes down though afterwards. Cluster Harrier killing off the Me-24K over here. Strela 10M not quite in position to stop it. Jaguar gets some Spetsnaz GRUs on the ground as well, but my rifles here went a bit too far. Getting killed off by the Spetsnaz GRU there. Tornado coming in to kill off the second Mi-24K. But yeah, that movement was due to this guy losing the infantry here down to only one Terrier, but the Gazelles over here did a good job, allowing us to take control of this area. Spetsnaz GIU here, holding the line together with the BRDM. Tornado cluster coming around, doing good amount of damage, but Strelas trying to get the kill. Struggled to find the kill. T80BVK though, yeah, still alive as well. So both sides taking damage, but not quite able to murder the other side. BRDMs moving forward, trying to spot more scout laws being brought in. On my side, tornadoes keep on circling. Let's see the Milan 2 team here now, together with the Spartan with the Milan 2 double launcher on top, sitting around here now. Quite interesting unit for 35 points with Milan 2. Really solid, bad stealth and so on, but 35 point, 24 damage ATGM is still a nice tool. Area power getting outclassed here a bit by the Spetsnaz. So they have to be careful. SAS patrol and armored rifles trying to come in to help out with the warrior, knowing that the T80BVK is hurt, so might not move around too easily, and you can really see the issue of 119th in this matchup, and that it is struggling to spread out nicely because all its units are pretty pricey. Spetsnaz GIU pretty pricey, Spetsnaz pretty pricey, and T80BVK quite expensive as well. SU-27 is a good bit cheaper now with 250 points, so that is actually a quite strong plane now, but it's still not a cheap fighter either. SAS patrol coming around, BRDM actually losing the 1v1 here against the Spartan as the Milan 2 comes out, finds the kill before the BRDM can deal enough damage to the Spartan itself. Law with the Law 80, the scout coming around as well. Sultan coming in for the capture here, as we currently have +2 due to the center capture here for Tortic. SAS patrol coming around, Gazelles being reloaded by the Chinook. Getting some rockets put back in. The Law here pushing a bit too deep. BRDM working hard on trying to get the kill, but the rover just barely passes by. Barely gets out there. Spetsnaz GIU versus SAS patrol. Special forces with GSR against each other here, but Terrier Para are the one that get caught out there. Rover gonna go down, but Chieftain on the way. Gazelle rockets trying to help out here against the Spetsnaz GIU, saving the situation. Strelas too far in the back to directly interfere with them right now, so they need to push forward, but that's what the warrior is coming in for. Trying to potentially deal with that. Spetsnaz GIU get pushed back. First Gazelle rocket goes down. Mi-8 MT escorty here. Interesting little helicopter. A bit cheaper now. And the big rockets hit a good bit better lately as well. So they might be somewhat worthwhile, but not if you have a tornado directly in your face. Tornado comes in, finds the kill. MiG-29 on the other side coming in to try to stop that. All the planes get evacuated before the MiG-29 can come around though. But Gazelles might have to be a bit careful, though you don't want to really suicide onto that. Or like dive onto these 20 hit point helicopters. Gazelle rockets disengaging a bit again. Chieftain finding the BRDM, gets the kill there. Killing off the recon on the side. Whilst the southern zone now gets captured. Sultan went on a bit of a detour there. We'll find the capture now though. Used up a lot of fuel already actually. Gets into the zone now. The Sultans in general seem to be a bit hungry when it goes to their fuel consumption. They go through their fuel quite quickly. MiG-29 still around. We have another helicopter coming in. Strelas located in the center. Another Strela being brought up into the center as well. So the AA setup here quite strong. Spartan missing its ATGM here against the BTR-60. BTR-60 on the way into the zone. Law 80 on the way to intercept. together with the Chieftain now as well, but the BTR makes it in. Law 80 still not having line of sight here, the scout team. The Hind flying forward on the hunt for the Spartan. We have a double tornado team coming around again. Tornadoes focused on the MiG-29 for now though. Get the kill there, but the last missile of the MiG-29 kills one of the tornadoes as well. Hind gets damaged, but is still alive. Tornado has to rotate once more around to try to kill it. Rapira is in here as well. The scouts pushing further forward, trying to kill the BTR here. Spartan going down. Tornadoes find the job. Together with the cluster. MiG-29 turned around here. Gets killed on the way out. But Su-27 coming in to intercept now as well. Gets the tornado damaged. And should be able to finish it off there. Yeah, with the missiles being improved. Su-27 coming around once more. Gets damage on the Harrier, but gets killed off by the last tornado. So the air dominance working out here now. Su-27 getting killed. Chieftain goes down to the Rapira. Meanwhile, in the center, a lot of Iglas, a lot of Strelas. Warrior dealing some damage here. And yeah, the air spam playing pretty decently so far. Jaguar coming in for the side here. Trying to kill off the Rapira. Vachvetka Saperi passing by and actually getting caught in the crossfire there. Getting bombed down by the Jaguar while it's passing by. Unfortunate circumstances there for the Vachvetka Saperi. Whilst Gazelle rockets now coming in to deal with the Spetsnaz OP as well. Dealing a heavy blow to the left side here of Tortik. And yeah, Tortik really strong in the center. Southern flank inactive. But even though it's only a slight advantage, there is an advantage now for me in the north. And especially with the plains, as there is no AA over there. Bringing any units in there is pretty tough. Spetsnaz OP rotating around here as well. TDBVK moving forward. I think this map will be really a lot of fun in team games, 2v2 and 3v3. Like 2v2 with normal income, 3v3 with maybe slightly reduced income. I think this map will be great. Everything above that with reduced income for sure. But 4v4s and co with slightly reduced income should be quite fun as well. For 1v1, as I said, it felt like it is a bit too much room to maneuver and too little units actually engaging. Like it wasn't really a fight, it was a lot of running around. Also a bit down to the decks for sure, but that just means that the fights would be really uneven. I like the town in the center, and I would like the focus to be a bit more there. Maybe cut off like this part here, and then you still have some open area on this left side, you still have some open area on the right side. Here you could just maybe cut something you don't even need to do though over here, realistically, like as the side here is not that big, but yeah, a slight cut on one of the sides I think would help out a lot. And then also removing these two zones here, maybe leaving these two on the open, and then maybe move these here into the rear so that you actually have a concentrated push fight in the center. I like 9 zones, and I would like them to be reduced to 1-point zones, or the 2-pointers here in the middle at least be reduced to 1-pointers, and then maybe 1 2-pointer in each rear, so that you don't have quite as many points on the map, and the take isn't going quite as fast if you just capture the middle, as you get a insane take if you capture all 3+2 zones here on this map currently. So yeah, that would be, which is really, really strong for 4 deploy divisions. So that's for sure not great for 1v1. But yeah, in general, map is fun. We will need some slight adjustments for it to really be fun in 1v1 as well. And it's one of the coolest looking maps though so far. Like Eugen really did a great look, a great job with the looks. It looks quite realistic as well, and it plays pretty decently as well with the layouts, that you have some bigger roads where you can shoot down with tanks, and some elevation going around that allows for good recon positions and are important fighting spots as well, like these towers here, and then a lot of smaller buildings in between that allow for some cool infantry action as well. +1 here right now for Tortik. We have the Tornado flying back, Gazelles sitting around, Gazelle rockets in need of a reload here. at some point in the future. Sultan getting the capture over here, getting me up to a tick finally. +1 right now, +3 soon. Sultan in the south has the capture there. The center still under threat. Double T80 BVK now coming around, so the units of mine have to retreat there. Whilst we have more Pulmachiki coming in, more AA, a lot of Iglas there, sitting around everywhere now. Together with some Retretka Saperi in the north. B-24 AT coming up. Challenger Mark III, now 260 points, which makes it a decent bit. Like, yeah, the 5-point reduction to the Challengers is a nice step. I believe 2nd UK, the infantry division, should have received a slight nerf somewhere for the buff, as the division has been pretty overperforming as it's been anyway, so buffing it and not nerfing it anywhere else for it feels a bit weird. But we will see how it goes with the new patch and the other changes around, if some other divisions maybe can catch up to it. But otherwise I feel like 2nd UK might really be potentially the top dog once more now on this patch. Jaguar coming in with a good bombing run. Iglas dealing some damage. The Harrier cluster on the hunt for the Mi-24 VAT. But a lot of Strellas, a lot of Iglas around. And it just doesn't quite get the kill. Or does it? Actually, in the end, they're finishing off the Mi-24 AT. Yeah, the Harrier is pretty efficient at that. Have a good availability for it as well. And maybe a bit of an issue there. And like, that might also be what makes 2nd UK so problematic, that the Harriers are such a good throwaway unit. As they are basically the same price as a Hind, but you get 3 availability compared to 1. And you can shoot them quite reliably, and you can use them for other stuff as well. Like, that might be a bit of an issue. And more of an issue with AA though, and the reliability of that, as once AA stresses on miss, and you can force Harriers to abandon mission by shooting enough AA missiles at them, with them being so slow, I think they would be a lot weaker, and that really should be the fix there, I guess, in the long run. But for now, maybe some slight price nerf until that is around, which hopefully, like, it's supposedly still planned and hopefully comes around at some point, is going to be quite helpful. Now that we have 4 weapon slots and so on, like, yeah, things are moving. I'm really looking forward to see what the new 2 divisions can do, but there are for sure some balance issues that, and design issues that still need to be some changing. At the meantime, push now going on in the south. Gazelle moved forward to find out what is going on here, realizing not much actually. Harrier cluster coming in for the BRDM here. Warrior Pleak then following it up. Sultan coming around to capture the point, running relatively low on fuel. And as you can see, it burns through a lot of fuel here. It's for sure an issue with the unit itself. It shouldn't consume fuel at the rate it does. And it's actually gonna struggle to get into Foxtrot here. The RDM shut down. Sultan over here gets the point. Tractor appears, moving in to help out with anti-helicopter action. ADBVK though on the way to intercept. The tractor up here in a bit of a bad spot, bit of a pickle. KDBVK firing, does miss with this shot. So the tractor up here trying to get off there, but the next one does land, finds the kill. Meanwhile, center Challenger Mark III together with the SAS patrol on hold. We see some tornado seed and a Jaguar pushing in for the Escorty helicopter. Escorty helicopter trying to land, firing its air-to-air missile. So the Warrior Pleak coming around, shooting it down whilst it's landed here in the middle of the forest. Whilst the Sultan moved off the road here for a second to dodge the Mi-8, but that consumed even more fuel as it moved off-road. And so yeah, Mi-8 here getting shut down, and Warrior really running low on fuel here. Fuel consumption really high, not the best engine, and it is super close, but it just barely won't make it in here, so it needs a refuel, as it's just running out of fuel right in front of the zone. Super frustrating there. Would have been a +4 at this moment otherwise. And as we get a push in the north here with a Challenger CV at the same time, could have been a +6 quite quickly. Tornado AA trying to protect. Scout here holding around in the middle. Chieftain needs to get into the zone. Nothing there really to stop it. TDU's coming around now for the center. BTR coming in to take the zone over here at the same time. Gazelles and Chinox moving around. Jaguar HE being pushed back. M109 on the field, but not used much yet. Chieftain gets the capture there. As the Chinook goes south, try to allow the Sultan to rearm. As we have 500 point lead here. 500 points now, slight lead, but Red gets the echo point as well, so it is a stalemate for now in the points. And yeah, the Sultan in desperate need of refueling there to get into the zone. Gazelle rockets, all but 2 getting shut down there by Tunguska and the Iglas. So anti-helicopter, anti-air here now. Really strong in the center. ADBVK rotating around north. Tornado still sitting around there. Spesnats OP being around here as well to try to ambush some stuff on the road. Warriors coming up with a chieftain, trying to help contesting the zone over here. Whilst Chinook continues to rescue the Sultan from its predicament in the open field there. M109 aiming onto a position where we last spotted some units, but they ain't actually there anymore. Tornado still circling above. Whilst the Terrier Para being pushed back here, rifles and SAS patrol moving around. We have a good couple of infantry units here setting up for an assault back into this point. The Sultan now getting refueled. Defensive units here by Tortic, not quite knowing what is in here, how much is on the flank that could potentially push north. Meanwhile, Harrier HE, a bit overkill there. The Warrior Pleak would have done that anyways, but wanted to save the Sultan CV there from that problem. Infantry spots the Spetsnaz OP now at the same time as well. Armored rifles on the hunt there, whilst the Warrior Pleak tries to push further forward. TDBVK though, coming around, does shoot and does miss and doesn't kill with the miss, unlike in previous patches. Warrior Pleak number 2 being under fire now as well, gets immediately bailed out. Armored rifles and warriors moving around. Second shot misses, and now the TDBVK is in the forest. Armored rifles getting the stun there with the first shot, but being stunned down, or stressed out rather, quite heavily as well, so they don't find the second shot. SAS patrol coming around. Tornado Harrier cluster on the run here for the TDBVK now. Warrior Pleak trying to find the line of sight for it. Armored rifles hunting the Spetsnaz. SAS patrol here engaging one shot at a time. And the Harrier cluster coming in, kills the TDBVK. Will pay with it for its life most likely, as we have Iglas sitting around everywhere. Harrier actually disengaging the long way around though, and actually getting out alive for now. Question is, any planes around there to catch it in the rear? +4 situation here for Red right now, as yeah, the Sultan still hasn't entered in the south. All 3 center zones captured. Armored rifles catching up to the OP Spetsnaz. Red Shvedka Saperi getting pushed back by the warrior. No anti-tank here around to kill the warrior, to kill the chieftain. So the Sultan should be able to get back into the zone here soon as well. Armored rifle killing the OP Spetsnaz in a second, whilst we have a big infantry push coming around here as well. M109 could do the job too. Chieftain finding the kill there. Now the Sultan can push back in to change the point tick. Same time, Sultan captures the south here. And the infantry push set up to push into the Polmachiki here. M109 could come around. Seed and some Tornado HE coming up as well. Armored rifles still struggling to kill the OP. Yudlini Podorichki there being annoying. SAS patrol with good CQC fire pushing back the Spetsnaz. even routing them together with the Warrior Pleak. Challenger coming around against the TADBVK, getting a good first shot, getting a good second shot. TADBVK actually hitting there as well, but Challenger still on the hunt. Shooting at some Spetsnaz now as well. Spetsnaz still pretty heavily damaged. Infantry push going on here now in the south. Warrior Pleak trying to help out. As the Spetsnaz get lit up. Sultan coming out here now in the center, trying to retake that. And yeah, with 2 zones under attack, the point situation might switch around quite soon again. TADBVK actually gets taken out by the Challenger in the middle, right as some TADUs arrive. So yeah, the Challenger has to disengage. It's a heavy boy, but it's not quite that heavy. And it doesn't have the frontal armor, it doesn't have the rate of fire especially as well to deal with the TADUs. So Challenger on the back tracking here. It has to be careful. It can be outrun by all of these T80s, as it is a bit slow as well. So yeah, positioning is everything here for these Challengers. Chieftains and Sultans coming around here, getting the +2 at the same time. Pushing in the south here, getting the capture as well. And that would be a +6 if both zones are fully captured. There is a BTR quite close by. Infantry sitting around here. TADU actually sitting right on there as well. Igla under fire. Bombs on this would be good as soon as the Igla is dead, though we still have the Tunguska as well. Artillery piece relatively silent still. Hasn't fired more than 1 salvo so far. I didn't have it hotkeyed. A bit of an issue there by me, because I was so busy with all the airplanes as they kept me occupied. But yeah, Urals and MTLB going down here at the same time. Polomachiki trying to push forward. OP Spetsnaz get the kill there. +6 is an insane timer. We only have 5:25 now remaining for Tortik, as we have a push in the south. We have a TADBVK leader coming up. TDU and BMP1s there sitting around as well. We have AA behind it, so that push is pretty real. BTR coming in now. Gazelle's still sitting in the rear. TDU pushing in here, and the AT weapons all pretty stressed out, so they don't find their mark. TDUs for sure can be used a bit more aggressively now. Again, with these changes. Jaguar have to be careful there. Not really finding any hits. Tornado HE has to be careful as well. Once we see Jaguar HE over here. Now coming around to try to hit the Motostralki. Try to hit the BMP. Do miss their target actually completely. And Jaguar HE being pushed out there. OP Spetsnaz and Polomachiki though getting eliminated here by the Assault Pioneers with high veterancy. Assault Pioneers doing a good job there, and the TDU doesn't continue fighting there. Ran away from the laws. That's not really necessary. They would have overwhelmed the laws quite easily. Meanwhile, we have a push in the middle. M109 at the same time coming in to try to deal with the BTR. And yeah, TADUs here pushing forward through the SAS patrol. Challenger has to retreat further at the same time. Big tank push set up here in the south. Lots of chieftains trying to get to overwhelm the TADU here in the middle. 2 more chieftains, to slightly more long range ones here to fight in the south. But there's a TDU and a BVK as well there. So some Rover Milans here. Gonna be quite helpful. M109 coming in, pushing out the CV out of Echo. Making the +4, +6 as well. And that real timer might come with it. So at the same time, rear zone here gets captured. So yeah, only a +5 here for a couple of seconds. Then it's going back down to a +4, but every single tick here right now quite nice, as I was back in the lead at that point. Warrior engaging the Iglas over here. Chieftains coming around. Though, yeah, the TDU balls are pretty scary. If they can take control over this part of the map, obviously it's gonna be a big problem. Challenger and infantry in the middle relatively outnumbered. Rifles trying to come around. OP Spetsnaz moving forward at the same time. Good couple of rifles, but the pathing is not great. M109 still not firing here. Spetsnaz GIU in a great spot. BTR coming around as well. Spetsnaz GIU seeing all these challengers. Yeah, all these chieftains at the same time. TDU was spotted as well beforehand, so the chieftains coming in here with a decent push, starting to deal damage here to the TDU, stressing it out heavily. It doesn't take super much damage from each shot, but it doesn't hit back due to the stress, and the chieftains able to overwhelm them here. Vesnat's coming around, another TADU sitting in there. BTR 60, once more under attack. Chieftains still continue a good job. Saperi Apio under fire. Meanwhile, South Chieftain gets taken out by the TADU with its great reflex ATGM. So the South is starting to get pushed back. No AT in these infantry units here. Spesnats and Saperi RPO all only having CQC weapons, so the chieftains can push into that. ADU a bigger problem, but at the same time, no anti-tank here on this flank, so the chieftains just push towards the BTR and try to take that out. BTR goes down. Infantry under fire as well. Tanks in the middle could maybe push a bit more aggressive, but we have rifles now around, so those are quite nice as well. OP's Besnats pushing forward, Challengers showing side armor there right now, getting blown up with the first hits, Rifle being caught out a bit as well. +4 situation still, 4 minutes 30 continuing. One BMP, one that pushes over here, gets killed off. Whilst more units need to be brought in for the center here. Airplanes are around still, but AA net pretty good as well. The rover Milans sitting here on the side, trying to their best to make some flank protection happening. Chieftains pushing towards the TADUD here again. No, or TADU actually. With their decent penetration, but really weak frontal armor. In numbers, they are pretty okay against the heavy tanks. Just in 1v1 engagements or 2v2 engagements, they're not doing so hot. Harrier and Jaguar not hitting all too well. Seed still coming around. Harrier cluster gets some good damage, doesn't quite get the kill, but pushes the TADU back for a good bit longer, and we are down to 3 minutes 30 and 11 minutes in general, so every point advantage here now is a pretty important one as well. TADU goes down, we have more pushing down here through this parking lot area. And yeah, chieftains get kill over here, but will get outnumbered over here, so something to come around to deal with the TADBVK into TADU would be really helpful. Tornado clusters flying around. Cluster just barely missing the TADU over there. Another one around. Tornado cluster now coming around for a TADBVK over here. TADU right next to it. Chieftains outgunned, but the cluster comes in nicely. Strellas try their best. Tornado take the wrong turn, and the TADU goes down. TADBVK does survive the cluster, but Tornado cluster down as well. TADBVK moving out as well. Reduced the game to a +2. The para leader really low, so if it would get killed off, it could stop the tick here. But at the same time, we have a push in the center as well. Just no CB up there just yet. TADBVK coming up. Up north, some TADUDs and some more infantry moving around. No T55, or TO55 rather, on the side of Tortic in this game. Might have been a bit of a mistake, not having anything affordable around, as obviously the TADUDs, you need to concentrate with them, and this map doesn't allow big unit concentrations. Meanwhile, TADBVK here still pushed back. Chieftain at the same time running into a Rapira, which does decent damage against it as well, so has to disengage for now too. But more and more infantry coming up, more and more warrior replique coming in as well. Jaguar HE coming in for the TADUD. Can it find the kill? Yes, it can. Good kill there. Air spam still working out nicely. Ground units still pretty important, but the push works out for now. TADBVK here trying to capture the rear zone. Infantry fighting around. 2 minutes remaining. On a +3. would go even lower with any higher tick, but the only way is to achieve that is killing off the TDBVK here. Meanwhile, TDBVK over here could move back in again, but maybe a lack of CVs here, not wanting to risk this, though kind of needs to risk it here at this stage. BVK in this front line, also under heavy fire. HE and cluster coming in. Ooh. TAD push back, TADU coming around as well. Tornado HE not finding the hit there. Saperi RPO under fire, and yeah, there we go. The victory is ours. Air spam winning the match. Though, yeah, it was more of an testing match here. Yeah, seeing how the map plays. And I hope you enjoyed that. Seeing how air spam works. I hope you didn't it didn't trigger too much PTSD there. It still works really well. First UK and the Harriers especially. Really, really good bombers. Jaguar as well. Like, both of those are fantastic. Jaguar a bit more expensive, but really, really strong when it hits as well. And that really made it quite uncomfortable for our opponent there. Jaguar HE here, one-shotting a TUD, for example. Those are pretty gnarly. So, yeah, GGVP 2 Tortic here. It was a fun one. And yeah, the new map, beautiful, fun for team games, for 1v1. It will need some adjustments, but I think it's doable. So I'm looking forward to what we can maybe do with Matchmaker, if that gets improved. Or if Eugene can bring it around relatively soon, that would be lovely as well. With that said, see you next time, guys. Bye-bye, and have a great day.